All right, so I'm recording. So today we're going to be looking at how to make an awesome portfolio, how to actually build a portfolio, like how to make an awesome portfolio and how to do it in public, how to actually like showcase your work as you're doing. Yeah, so I hope we have so much time to like spare because this is all right now. I don't know how much leeway um my this thing will give me. So let's just see how we can go forward. All right, so we're going to be looking at this is a very interesting topic, how to this thing, how to build an awesome portfolio. Like does anybody here have an idea of what a portfolio is? Or should I should I ask a question? Should I ask someone to does anybody here have an idea of what a portfolio is? Like if somebody can respond, maybe just raise up your hand to respond. All right, let's I'm going to ask Albert. Albert, do you know what a portfolio is? Albert, can you hear me? If you guys are here, please respond. Let this class moving forward. Um.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Can you just tell us what a portfolio is so let the class just move forward. Um. So everybody just gets an idea what it is.
So I think portfolio is like a medium where you have all your works as whatever tech person you are. So like a medium where you have your works so that when recruiters come in, they can check it out. Yeah, basically that's what I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what portfolio is. Portfolio is just a somewhere you actually like exhibit your work, like something you've done. Maybe you worked on a project, you've done some particular stuff, you have an experience doing this stuff. Portfolio is just a document, or like before it was a document where you actually show like what you've things you worked on. So sometimes people like make like actual documents that maybe you're going for a contract, especially when we had this kind of terms of contract work. People actually made those documents and they went to show like their potential clients, hey, I want to do this project for you. This is the project I've done. You know, like things people like architects, designers, fashion people, what's the name? Movie people, like when they make movies and all this kind of stuff, they kind of like go with portfolios of movies they've made and some other stuff, like show like this, like the movies and all this kind of stuff have their potential like act like their potential studios see the movies they've made, like look at it and see like judge for themselves if it's something um worthwhile looking into. So that's one thing about a portfolio. So we're going to be looking at the topic now. Well, before we go on, I just have a nice breaker question that I would just want you guys to answer. Like any historical figure, whether it's an influential person. So the question is like this: if you could have this dinner with a very historical figure, living or dead, who would it be and why? So if you were to have a dinner with an historical person, who would it be and why? Um, it could be anyone. Could be maybe the Nnamdi Azikiwe or maybe um Amadu Bello or someone alive like Bill Gates. Even some other people like very famous people like what's the name of this guy? This Apple guy, Steve Jobs. Um, those are potential people you can actually look forward to and act. Yeah. So, does anybody want to share any historical figure? Nobody. I'll ask somebody now. So, Chima, can you tell us any historical figure you like? Any historical figure you want to like? talk with, you want to meet in person, you want to have dinner with?
I would like to have dinner with Steve Wozniak, the
Oh, that's
second in
cool.
command at Apple. Then yeah,
That's cool. That's
he
cool.
was very influential in the design of on the designs and the breakthroughs that Apple had. So I would love to.
Okay, we need one more person. Um, Mary, Mary, can you tell us any historical person, any historical figure you like to talk with? Just let us know. Any historical person, maybe Alexander the Great, any historical person, or anybody that's maybe famous, maybe even this, let's say somebody that is famous, maybe a famous musician, a famous artist, um, a famous writer, a famous anybody. Um, Let me ask Chukwebuka. Chukwebuka, do you have any famous person you like, historical person you like to meet? So everybody is cool. This okay. You want
Um, I, okay, I think we can. Um, I guess I'll take from very mythological and historical. Maybe Julius Caesar. You know how he, the establishment of Rome, how he, made Rome an empire basically. Well, maybe Julius Caesar, but also how he got his whole battalion to basically believe in what he did, and his ending. Why did he have to support Egypt so much, or support Cleopatra in that endeavor? But yeah, maybe Julius Caesar. A lot of questions to ask in that regard, especially towards someone of high position having to manage a whole empire.
oh wow. Well, like this Julius Caesar stuff, I was thinking mostly like maybe it was Mark Antony and what's the name that had more like experience with Cleopatra. But I didn't know Julius Caesar had. Maybe I'll just check out history. I'm not even very familiar with that kind of history. I just
No,
know the
yeah, no, yeah, it was Julius at first because
okay.
Cleo needed that gave the support to Cleo before Mark now. It was after Julius' death, assassination, that Mark now entered the picture.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so for me, I would say I have to put in mind if we say historical, like during the Renaissance period, I would say Leonardo da Vinci, how he was able to like do like revolutionize the way people thought about some things. Also like he did some very interesting scientific discoveries, did some very like he thought about the future, thought about how airplanes were going to be like, how aerodynamic things were going to be like, some very sciencey things. I also did some artworks and other stuff. So he's a mixture of both worlds. So I like to like have a dinner with him just to know what his thought process is like. The another person I want to talk with is another person I want to talk with is um another person I want to talk with is Steve Jobs. I just want to know like how he thought about design and all this kind of stuff. I've been like seeing a lot of stuff on him, reading like a lot of articles on him. Like if I could meet him in person, there are a lot of questions I'll have to ask him because of like the innovation of the iPhone, even like coming bouncing back from irrelevance when people were like they couldn't even think about new ideas for how to make phone. He came up with an idea, like came up with different stuff from different sources. Even the first personal computer, he was one that pioneered it, like the first personal computer like you see on your table and have like the mouse, the discs, like the graphic user interface. He kind of brought it out to landlight because I think like there's a history of how what's not this research institute, what's their name again, would have been the first people to bring it out, but he saw an opportunity and he actually brought it out to limelight. So that's like one part of the reason why I want to meet him. Somebody here in the comments Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name very well. It sounds like one ancient Greek name also. But I'll say one quote. Albert Einstein, how he came about with all these equations that gave me headache in school. Yeah, Einstein, that those the special relativity stuff that was just breaking our heads, and like when I was studying physics in university, we was just talking about special relativity. First of all, we knew about um man, like his equations made us suffer in school, sure. Funny stuff, I wrote his exam. I wrote special relativity exam and quantum mechanics. Sick. I was sick when I wrote that exam. Which I still passed the exam with distinction, sure. So like go stick where I am. So we're going to look at how do we stand as professionally. Like we've been going for jobs. You know how the way the job market is. Like you go apply for a job, you put your resume and all this kind of things. Next thing they'll tell you how far. Like they'll just tell you first of all you just see a thank you message. You understand me? Like anytime I'm applying for it, anytime I apply for a job and I see a thank you message, like on like they reply with a thank you message, I just know I've not like it's a rejection letter. Something about thank you. Why are you thanking me for rejecting? Like why you just tell me you rejected me? Like you didn't make it, you didn't make the cut. This is why you failed and every other stuff. But you just say thank you for constraining us and all this kind of thing. But we regret to tell you that this thing or that we regret to tell you all this kind of stuff, different types of rejecting letters or you show a lot of promise, but and some other things. Sometimes there are different factors that happen to this. Sometimes it could be maybe your resume didn't make it through the AES test. So there are different ways when you apply for a job. You apply with your resume, you write a cover letter, you also attach sometimes you ask for your portfolio, especially if you're working in the tech industry, like if you're a junior developer or you're a senior developer, any level, sometimes they'll tell you to add your LinkedIn profile or a link to your portfolio or a link to where you've worked, like any professional place where you have like your stuff. So the first thing they will check, first process is your actually your resume. We won't go into resume now, but there's actually like an automated bot that goes into resumes that check for keywords in your resumes, check for experience, check for some key things that actually like in tune with the company. So that's why in resumes they tell you for me now I have like when I was actively applying for jobs I had up to 4 to 5 I think I had up to four different, I think up to 5 or 6. I made different copies of my resumes talking about different experience I had. So in case of any job, maybe it's maybe fintech related or maybe e-commerce related or maybe ed tech or any other this thing. I was just trying to like show like my experience, like trying to like position it, although it was the same experience, but I was trying to position the writing in such a way that it would make sense to this particular organization. And so, or maybe this time I was even going for when I was really starting out very newly, I was going for digital analyst job. Everything I wrote there was about my digital marketing experience, my experience in digital marketing. And I used that to actually try to like, and I got the role. Talked about like how I boosted a social media account all the way from 200 followers to up to 1,000 followers and some other things. Man, I was very good then in those social media stuff. Now, even me, now I deleted my Instagram. I had to like reinstate it just to get back to doing things. So I had to but yeah, so those are the things. Those are the things. So from your resume, if you pass that stage, that's when you have like the people that come to hire you. They come and look at, okay, this person that passed this resume and all this test, let's see if this guy is worth our time. Let's see if we'll give this guy a chance in interview. So you come and check your social media, all those things you posted, like you should go and put your Twitter handle. And your Twitter handle, you're just telling everybody like you will die, you're an idiot, you're a fool, these people are stupid, everybody here is mad, everybody's running mad. And they're saying that on your Twitter handle. They're just looking at your Twitter handle. And that's what you sent. I like sometimes it's good. Like if you have a Twitter handle, sometimes if you want to show like your real self on your Twitter handle, it's okay. But don't put that in your resume. Put somewhere like maybe where you're more sane, maybe on LinkedIn. Put your LinkedIn profile on your this thing. So when people look at your LinkedIn, they'll be like, this guy looks safe, responsible, and smart things. Although I'll still tell you to be more responsible on social media because they'll see check They'll still check your Twitter, they'll still check all this kind of areas. So that's why you need to also showcase your work on those platforms. But yeah, so have you ever wondered why what makes some people stand out from the rest when it comes to getting opportunities? Have you ever felt the desire to like level up your professional journey and make your mark in your social and your certain fields? Like the tech job market now is more difficult to navigate because of the requirements and expectations in terms of expertise, experience, competence. You see some junior level roles, like they tell you they're looking for an entry level person. They'll say you have to have like 2 years experience in this. You're like, I'm entry level, I'm junior level. Like, why should I have 2 years experience in all these kind of things? I feel like I don't have my fair share. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to be telling you how to do that and every other stuff. This slide is not exhaustive, but I think when I explain in class, you're going to see more on this. So the answer, what you need is the answer is that you need evidence. Do you understand? I mean, everybody is looking for evidence. You want to work with somebody like you like for example now, let's say you want a carpenter to make a desk for you, and you want to know this carpenter is good. You tell the guy to show you pictures of what he has done before. Do you understand? Show me a picture of a desk you've made before. Show me something. Like you want somebody to make cake for your wedding. Are you following? Maybe you have a wedding or so, because some of you here will get married, and some of you like everybody here is going to get married, and some of you here are already married. So you're going to make cake and all this kind of stuff. But you don't like maybe let's say you just saw the person just thought somebody just recommended somebody to you, like a friend of yours recommended somebody to you, and you don't know the person at all. You have to tell the person, hey, I want to see the cakes you've made for weddings. Let me see all the cakes you've made. And the person has to send you pictures of the cake. In fact, sometimes you tell the person to send the person's Instagram account. Like if the person is a cake person, like all those people, they like showcasing your work on Instagram. So you tell the person, hey, send me this guy's Instagram account. So you're going to see all the cakes the person has been making. So to give you that kind of proof that says, hey, this person is somebody I can trust. I know this person can make cakes, so I'm going to trust this person to make good cakes for me. So that's the kind of thing a portfolio can give to you. It gives you evidence, something you can show to people that shows that, hey, this guy actually knows his stuff in this thing. So how do you create evidence? To create evidence, you need a few things. A showcase of your competence in a particular skill. You need work experience. Like work experience, it's important. Work experience. Some of you that still starting, maybe you don't need work experience that much, but it's something to consider. You need a proof of knowledge in your skill. Like you need something that proof you're not a proof of knowledge. Proof of knowledge is something that can prove that you've done something, not like theoretical knowledge. Something you've like maybe you've written an article, you've created something, your knowledge in this. You need so you also need quantifiable results. So you need quantifiable results. These are results that people can look at and say, okay, I was able to like do this, I was able to go from this to this. How we'll say quantifiable results is let's say like you've increased your level of skill in something in a particular area. Do you understand? Like you've learned something new and you've been able to make something. You've been able to like do something that maybe people have used. Maybe you made something that people have used, and you can now say, okay, I made this stuff and people used it, and this is the result of it. Or I work for this for a particular maybe a small restaurant, and this is the results of what it was. This is what how much you made. This was something. Then testimonials or something that can vouch for you. Something that can vouch for you. So you need all this stuff. So one way of achieving this is through a well-crafted portfolio. A portfolio is more than a collection of your work. Is a showcase of your achievements, your skills, and unique value you bring to the table. Do you understand me? So you don't just pack everything you've done in a portfolio. Like you built a to-do app, you come and put in your portfolio. You built a button changing color, something you put in your portfolio. You built a site to wish somebody a birthday, put in your portfolio. All these kind of things. You're applying for a job, and the job is something around fintech, and you're showing them website that they used to you're showing a website, a to-do app, or a birthday website. They just look at you and like they'll consider other people that have like other relevant projects that are close to like what they are looking for. So these are the important things. It has to be relevant to that particular field. So where do you start when you're making a portfolio? Like where do you start when you're trying to like make a portfolio? So this advice actually is actually very applicable for young people and also for professionals. Like if at any level you still need to consider this. So you say what special experience, what skills or things you do, things you're good at, can you put in your portfolio that will be able to impress your potential employers or collaborators who you want to collaborate with, that you want to employ you. How can you make sure your portfolio tells an interesting story about you, about your professional journey, and why you are valuable in the field? How can you know about the newest way to make a good portfolio and how you can um keep learning, stay ahead of in your career. So you still need to keep on learning, you still need to improve, you still need to like grow your skill. Do you understand? I mean, also to add that to your portfolio. Now, can you make your portfolio show who you are and what unique value add in crowded job market? I think I repeated two things there, but I think you get the gist of this. Number one is showcase your skill, tell you makes tells what is unique about you and what makes you stand apart, and also shows your learnings, your growth journey as you continue to grow in like your particular field. So maybe how you started something and maybe like your growth journey or what you've been to achieve. Do you understand me? So it's still part of your growth journey. Um, so key elements of your portfolio. So you need to have like a summary about you, like a professional introduction, just something brief, not this thing, your career goals, what sets you apart. Think of it as an elevator pitch or something like that. It's just a short summary about you, not something very much, just a short summary about you. Key work experience. Sometimes people leave this out of their portfolio. You just put like projects they've worked on and everything. And sometimes maybe the company is interested in just seeing the projects you worked on. But sometimes they also need to know about you. They want to know what you are like when you like walking around you, like what kind of like how do you think, how do you work? And those are kind of things you can showcase in your work, in your portfolio. So key work experience, like key work experience or volunteer work. I need volunteer works for those people that don't have like um you don't have like you've not worked in a professional setting before, but you can do volunteer work. You can choose to like build something for a friend, maybe a local business or even like an initiative, a non-profit or something like that. These are examples of things you can do to actually build a portfolio, like things you can include in your portfolio. um Projects you've worked on, these are the most important. This is the most important part of the portfolio. Every other thing you did there was English, just to get people excited, just to lure people in. But the projects you worked on, the goal is to show the projects you worked on, the outcomes, and also demonstrate. It demonstrates your practical skills and your problem solving abilities. Do you understand what I mean? Then the other ones I added are like optional things, but those are like add-ons, like extra add-ons you can add to your portfolio to just make you stand out and make you like see. So if you have an award, maybe you won an award for something, you got an award for something, you stood out in something, you went for your hackathon, you won the best in that stuff. Showcase it on your portfolio. Say you won an award in this, or you stood out in this, or you got something for this. Maybe articles you've written to showcase your knowledge in a particular like depth of field. So maybe you've written an article about like maybe you were learning something about web development, and you wrote an article that was going to help like beginners like learn how to do something, or you wrote like or it solved a very hard problem. For example, me, there was a hard problem I was trying to solve. So I was trying to convert an array to an object. Like normally you convert objects to arrays, but this time around I was doing it the other way around. I was trying to convert an array to an object. I was trying to what I was trying to do is I was trying to dynamically create what's the name, breadcrumbs for an application. But I didn't know I was trying to go around it, but I couldn't find anything on Stack Overflow. I couldn't find anything. By then there was no such thing as ChatGPT, so I couldn't ask my questions. I actually created something from scratch that helped me. And when I finished creating that, I put that on GitHub Gist, and I talked about it. I shared it on I created like I talked about it so much because it was a great achievement I've made, something I talked about and I was able to do. Even when people ask me what exciting stuff were you able to do, like during my earlier time when I was trying to get like jobs in tech, I was mentioning that like in one of my first jobs I was able to do this. And so just to get just to showcase that I have actually done something very tangible and I achieved like something. So if you've published an article, you've published a book, you've published a research you've done, showcase it. It showcase like it demonstrates your knowledge and your thought leadership, how in depth you are in thoughts, how in depth you are in actually like in knowledge of that particular field. So articles you write, writing is actually a very good way of doing that. So let's look at an example. We've been talking too much. Let's look at an example. So well, somebody has a question here. But yeah, that's what we're going to do now. Obviously, are we going to just show this is not just theory? So let's look at an example. So this is Lota Anidi. She works as a product designer and currently working in Nestcoin. She works in the onboard team. She's one of the lead designers. I think she's the lead designer for the wallet team and some other stuff. But this her portfolio, say hello, I'm Lota, I'm a product designer, simplifying the most complex things and contributing to open source design. Very simple and short, not too much English. In fact, I spoke more English than her in my own portfolio. But you can see how her portfolio looks like. She actually showcases her work. And I'm going to show you how to actually do this. There's actually a simple tool you can do, you can use to do this. So she actually showcases her work experience. So she was the lead designer, she's a lead designer at Nestcoin on board. She was the user experience designer at Binance, that's like bundle team. She was a design product designer at Split.Africa. And you can actually click on this to actually show some stuff. Then she shows awards she won. She won Genesis Nucleus Award. She was a writer at Noteworthy blog and some other things, affiliations. So you can shoot her a message if you want to. This to send her an email, a message to her email, and she now shows like showcases like projects she worked on. So you can ask like projects she worked on, and she also goes in depth to explaining her process in working on those projects and some other things. Questions she asks and some other stuff. So for designers, especially for designers, it's called like I don't know what you guys call it, Shab. Is it like user journey or something like or stories or so user stories or something like that? I don't get what you guys call it, Shab. But there's a special name you guys have for this kind of thing. Um, she talks about her stuff. There's somebody's portfolio that is also very interesting. I think maybe we'll look at it. Let's see. Although I didn't put it as part of the example list, it's about examples. If I have time to show it. I see. I have time. I have a lot of time to show. Let me get it. Sorry for delaying you guys' time. We're going to build a portfolio today. We're going to build a portfolio. I'm going to show you guys how to build a portfolio. Maybe somebody can try building their own. Although you guys can try building your own and maybe sharing in this thing. Let me look for him. See no, I can't find him at the moment. It's on LinkedIn. I forgot to save the name. But his portfolio was very interesting. He made his portfolio on this same app. So she also showcased like very online interesting product split. So everybody's familiar with this split app, which is this thing you made. I actually made a makeshift portfolio also for myself. Talking about, but I'm going to also include very important projects I worked on. She talked about Split Africa. She talked about the background, talk about the project details, some information. You can see like like if not for my internet connection, which is like messing up this evening for of all this, you guys will be able to see the images she included here about the stuff. She talked about the challenges, the redesign attempts, and some other stuff. And yeah, what she's doing about it. You can also see the payment app, the bundle. Can you guys see hear me? My internet is being too slow. Um, saying 4G. Yeah. I'm going to buy. I'm going to listen. And then she also includes articles She's written about how one is well designed. My one is more chaotic, but one is well designed. And this an example of our portfolio. Also, she has a PDF version of her portfolio, which is more of an advanced thing. If you have the time to do this kind of thing, you can, especially like for design folks, or the internet is faster now. So she talks about like different projects she worked on, can view the website, can do. So she talks about on board. What website is this? Okay, this is a random website. Okay, this she just talked about herself. Um, yeah, so first of all, she talks about herself. She introduces herself to us, talks about her work experience. So I'm Luther. I simplify complex experiences and drive business forward. And she also pretends to be an artist. She also has her social links here. Um, then her work experience, what she has done. Then projects she worked on. So she now showcased the project she worked on and her role in that project, and also the team she worked with in that project. So this is a more professional one. If you're a beginner, they don't really expect you to have this kind of professional experience at this point in time, like this kind of professional thing at this point in time. But it's something to look at for as smart thing. Let me show you mine, and I'll show you how. Okay, so let us return to the slide. Let me just share the slide. So oh yeah, let's look at one more example. Okay, let me just talk about this. So there are different ways to build a portfolio, like create a portfolio. So there are different ways to create a portfolio. You can actually use your social media accounts as a portfolio, as a way of creating a portfolio for yourself. So you see, like for example, some of you follow like designers on Twitter or Instagram. You guys see their works, like they showcase their design. There was time I was following Lay Connect. That's Lay everybody like line in design in Nigeria. Mm, oh, I should share her work. Let me just share it so you guys will have access to it. Um, I'm sharing at the moment. I think sharing is going to process. My internet is slow this evening. I don't know why. Let's continue. So okay, you can see it, right? If you click on this link, you'll see it. Okay, wait, I can actually click here. Ah, come on. I need to share. All right, so you guys can check this out on your own. I'm going to show you a website, different portfolio websites. There are different portfolio websites out there. Um, when I started out, let me show different portfolio websites. So, let me just get this site loaded. So, I want to show you guys a portfolio website. The guy, name of this guy is Victor. He calls himself Code Vic. Depending on how fast my internet goes, well, he builds. So this thing. He doesn't really talk about himself. He just goes straight to his work on his portfolio. I think he talks about himself at the point, but it goes straight to his work. He showcases all the works he has done. So he's a designer plus developer. Um, front end developer. So he's a UX. He's kind of like a UX developer. What he does is like he does like all these UX designs and all like this. So that's why his project talks about. So you can learn about him. So he talks about himself, get to know me. I'm a designer and front-end developer based in Lagos, Nigeria. I focus on creating digital experiences for brands through design, art direction, and creative front-end development. He currently works at web experience team at Flutterwave. He's also a member of this thing of of um of awards young jury. So this is very interesting about him, and he also showcases his skills and some other stuff about him. If you really have time, like for developers, you can actually build a portfolio website for yourself. It doesn't have to be this complicated. You can actually make something very simple. Um, Showcasing his projects again. So look at his projects, and yeah, so he talks about different projects he has worked on and over the years he on, and it also shows like the years in which he worked on this project. So from 2020 to 2023, he's showcasing his projects he has worked on. So this is an example of a portfolio project. This is also an art project, but this guy is more of a this guy is really raw. For those people that write next year's, like all these developers here that write next year's, maybe React next year's and some other stuff, you guys know him. You guys should know him. He's the chief developer experience guy at Vessel. So Vessel is the guy, is the team behind next year. So sometimes when I have problems, I actually talk with him. We actually share, like I actually ask him some questions. I send him some things. We really talk about some we get to I actually like get to like share some things with him. So he helps me out in this kind of stuff. And he helps people, all developers. Like if you have a problem in like in if you have a problem with next year, so you have a problem with Vestel, you can just meet him and he will just help you out with your needs and some other things. He has really helped me out, and he has also shown me some really neat tricks you can actually do in next year's that I wasn't really aware of at first. So this is him. He's a front-end developer, optimist, and a community builder. He currently works as a VP at React. He has a YouTube channel which he shows, and he's also managing the vessel site. So he also shows that. Then he has some things he has written. Then he also says that he also like he does some small angel investing and stuff, some other stuff. So you can follow him on Twitter. This is a link to go to his Twitter account, and this is a link to actually like join his Substack. So he has a Substack account where um where he writes about the web. So this is Substack. He writes about the web and he talks about different stuff. Before he writes, he has a blog in his site too. I think he has a blog in his site. So he has a blog in his site where he talks about what he does and some other things. So you can make a portfolio site for yourself, very simple interface. They are different, like if you're a developer, they are very cool tools to use. A very interesting tool you can use to build a portfolio for yourself is something like Astro. I'm going to drop the link. Let me just stop this one from sending. You know what? I'm going to include the link in the slide. So when you guys have the slide, when I share the slides, you guys are going to have all the links to all these portfolios. So I'm just going to share the link in the slides. But this is an example of where your work is. So let me just return to the slide to actually continue what I was talking about. So you can also use professional platforms like GitHub, Dribble, Behance, and Hugging Face. So a platform like GitHub is for developers. So if you're a developer, your GitHub, you're supposed to showcasing all your projects on GitHub. When you work on a project, put it on GitHub. You understand what I mean? So sometimes it's also a way of people referencing what you've done. I've gone for interviews, like a lot of interviews, and when I was actually interviewed, the person that was interviewing me was looking at the project I worked on GitHub, and we're discussing the project together. He was talking about the project with me. He was talking about the code, what I did here, why I made some certain decisions in my code. We're talking about the code I wrote in my GitHub projects, like in projects I had on GitHub. So this GitHub is a very good example of where you can put your this thing. Dribble, you can create a portfolio on Dribble. Dribble is more like share like screenshots of apps, something you worked on, just talk about it, and it's just like a will. It's just let me just call it like an Instagram for designers, also like a more focused Instagram for designers. Then Behance is more like a detailed. I think Behance is more detailed. Some people actually build their entire portfolio on Behance. They don't really care about creating extra portfolios outside, also they just build their entire portfolio on Behance. So it's also for designers, whether you're a user interface designer, or you're a brand designer. You just, what you do is that you make poster designs, or you make motion designs. Any kind of design you do, can showcase your work on Behance. And the last one is Hugging Face. I was also going to write Cargo right here. Hugging Face is for people in data science. So if you're a data scientist, you can actually showcase like um machine learning models on Hugging Face. Can actually showcase like what you've done on Hugging Face, showcase like projects you've worked on Hugging Face. Kaggle is also another example where you can showcase your work. There are different platforms. There's one for writers and some other things. I think when I'm going to update this to actually show the ones for writers. And so the one for writer is called Contently. Let me just write it down. Like I don't know if I can use the shots right now because this thing is trying to generate the SDK. But it's Contently. It's a very good way of is for writers. Like if you're a writer, you can use Contently to actually showcase what you do. And this is a very good one where you can actually start with this Notion or Airtable. I would advise you use Notion. Like I use Notion myself for different stuff. I use it for like putting like books I want to read and some other things, talking about like creating notes. And Notion is it's a very good app. It does a lot of things, but for me, I use it for different stuff. I use it for my like for creating like resume templates and some other things. And I later copy and put it in a resume builder to actually make out a resume for myself. I actually do different stuff on Notion. But Notion is a very good stuff. Like the first example we looked at was Notion. When you also look at my own example, um, you can use a page builder like WordPress. You can build a portfolio on WordPress. You can use this is very interesting tool made by a Nigerian called VZ.io. I hope I got it right before he slaughters me for not selling him very well. So VZ.io is a very interesting like for if you don't have time. Oh yeah, I filled in. It's not VZ.io. Don't worry, I'll show the link actually when I share the slides. But it's a very good thing. Then there's Webflow. Webflow is actually very interesting to use. I've used Webflow to make some websites before. It's actually very cool to use and some other things. They can build your own web. You can build your own websites from scratch. For example, me, I've built my own website from scratch. Although for me, it's always a work in progress because it's never done. Um, it's never done. But there is actually like these are actually different ways of building a project. So I'm going to show you a dribble example. I'm going to look at Lotus dribble. Um, so we're going to look at Lotus dribble. So this Lotus account, these are dribble. I can see different things she has worked on. You can actually see her projects, and so she's also available to work with her. You can click on her on this to actually like get in contact with her. I can see different things she worked on. I'm not going to show you Behance, but I want to show you guys my GitHub account. So here's my GitHub account. You can see I also talked about myself and what I like to do. Um, I have pin projects here. The pin projects are like projects I'm really very distant. So I built a game called Space Invaders with Rust. It's kind of like a CLI game where you can actually play like Space Invaders on your laptop with Rust. So when you run the application, you play the game on your laptop. So I actually made speed.sh, which is like a URL shortener with custom links. It got forked by an organization that was using to teach people tech. I made a piece was this kind of like a social media application that I made like an API, just the back end for the application of how this thing will work. And I talked about it in essence. I also created different documentations for it. I also worked on a DApp, a pay money DApp, which is like an automated payment platform for automating payments. Oh, thank God. For automating payments. So I also worked on this is also my this thing on this is actually a this thing, a resource that I use for learning Rust. It has different stuff around like Rust programming language for people that want to learn Rust. So these are things about just different stuff around like what I've worked on. So let me just share the screen. We're almost out of time. My God, I've been talking too much. So let me. Oh my God, I actually repeated Lotus link. Let me share. Um, let me share. Let me share my own portfolio with you guys, so you guys will see my own portfolio. So I'm going to show you guys how I made it also. So this is my portfolio. On Notion. I also have a website on by myself, but this is my portfolio on Notion. So hi, I'm Mecca. I'm a full stack engineer at Nestcoin and founder of the initiative, build scalable apps using Jamstack, microservices, and BDD. My software engineering experience includes Python, TypeScript, Rust, Next.js, Fast API, all this kind of stuff. I'm also skilled in blockchain engineering with substrates, and I've been building projects in Ethereum and Polkadot ecosystem. You can check out my GitHub, contact me on LinkedIn, or check out my resume here. Let me even click on my resume. So let me just open up my resume. So my resume, when you click this, you just see my resume. So you just see like places I worked in and more details about it. Also, praise I want to. I think I'll update this. I've not updated this now. I have so many resumes. This is just one of them. So I'm going to update this. This is for me applying for a normal job and some other stuff. I have one I used to apply for AI companies also. If they want to hire me, I have the one I used to apply to them. So yeah, and I talk about like my work experience. So I show like my work experience in different companies. Nextcoin, Tennessee, Paid Business Consulting, Blink Pay. So these are my work experience. Then projects I worked on. So I talk about different projects I worked on. There is Class Dodo. About this application, I also talk about key features. I talk about the problems. And I talk about the tools I use to build it. This actually has a picture of the interface of the application. You can actually visit the live site and see the project in production. I also talk about like a project I built before, which is speed.sh, a which is like a URL short now for making shorter URLs. And these are the features it has. It has user defined slugs. You can actually click it has click tracking analytics. You can generate a QR code for shortening link. There's user authentication, blah blah blah. And it's open source. You can actually click on the link and some other stuff. I think I can showcase it out here. I think I can showcase it. Um, I actually had the first design. I designed this site like three. This is my third design for this site. I designed this site like three times. Like one site I'm actually very excited about. Now this simple. This is a game I actually used to teach people that are new to like programming how to build tic-tac-toe game. I didn't even put a link to this website. Imagine me. But this is actually a tic-tac-toe game where people can actually come and play tic-tac-toe online. You can play with a friend, and so I was going to build in like single player mode and some other things, but I gave up. But I think I'm going to do that eventually. So this is speed.sh. This is the website. This is how it looks like. Some other stuff, and you guys can come and you guys can give me a star on GitHub for this my open source project. Can come and contribute on it also. I have open issues. I need somebody to work. I also need somebody who can do some things on it. But I'll stop working on it because I want to concentrate on Doom Academy for now. But this is also one of the projects I've been working on. Let me share the screen back. Then I also share like some very interesting projects I worked on. These are like interesting. I don't really show like my work related stuff on my profile, which I think I will start doing. Maybe I'll just put a section for. In fact, I'll do it. No, I don't have time to do it right now, but I'm going to do it one of these times. So no, I'm going to do it now. So I'll just show like some websites I worked on. This is like a restaurant site where people can come order food and some other things, get this thing. I thought about paid business consulting. I actually like helped them redesign their site. I've not really written much about it, but I helped them redesign their website from they had a website they made on WordPress. I actually like helped them carry it from WordPress and moved it over to Next.js. The backend was in WordPress, but other stuff was in this thing. You can check out the website, see how it looks like. Yeah, so this is how the website looks like right now. And some other things. So let me share this. So this a very simple, mine is very simple and just laid back. It's not very advanced and smart things. But this is actually how I share my work. Like if somebody asks me for like a link to my portfolio or some other stuff, I just share this with them. Obviously I have to update some things here. I did some things newly, like 1, 2, 3. I need to update them, and I forgot to. I think I was updating this, then it didn't save my this thing. But I'm going to update all of this. very soon. But this is how very simple it will. This is a very simple layout of my portfolio. So I'm going to be making a portfolio live right now. Let me see if I have time. I'm going to try and make a portfolio live. So this is actually Notion. This is what it looks like in my actual dashboard when I'm making portfolio. You can see other things I work on, um, content plan, weekly plan, and some other stuff, publishing, and some other stuff I work on. I do some other things on Notion really my that are really my business. But so let's make a portfolio. So this I created a small template that this is so Notion, you can actually create a small template for your portfolio. So I'm just going to be deleting some stuff from this. So I'm just going to read. Let me just delete this. I'm going to start again and create from again. So I'm also going to delete this. I'm going to create it from. Let me delete it. So why is my internet slow? Um, to delete it. So we're going to start from scratch. So hey, I'm maker listening. So you can see my this thing. Hey, there, I'm maker listening. I'm listening. Let me just leave um my this thing very brief and listen like this. I don't really know how to write stuff. So let me just say I love building software using engineering, best um, engineering best practices, engineering best practices. Then what I'll just do is I just want to go straight to my work experience. I'm just going to make a heading. I'm going to say work experience. I don't know. Normally, I like putting a dash line. So if you press slash here, this forward slash is going to create a dash line. So I'm going to say divider. Then I'm going to say slash. I'm going to go to database. So I'm going to go to table view. So what kind of data do I want to do? I already have different database, but I want to create a new database. Um, why didn't it create? This table is empty. Why is my table empty? Yeah, well, you guys want to embarrass me today, nation. Why is my table empty? Yeah, my table is not meant to be empty. All right, so I'm going to see what this is all about. So I'll say work experience. I'm just going to repeat everything here. So I'm just going to write like companies I worked for. So I'll just say Dome Academy. I'm going to come to this table. I'm going to say period. Time the period I worked there. So period. Let me just say position. Position there. So yeah, this is it. This is all I need. So I'll say period from. Sorry, this is not a tag. It's not meant to be a tag. Let me edit this. So you can edit the property of this. So I'm going to edit the property to just text. So I'm just going to write. This thing is just going to be manual. Obviously, there is a better way of doing it. So let me say from January 2022 to present. Then position. Let me say lead developer. Let me add one more. Let me just add some other experience I've had. I worked on onboard team at Nestcoin, and I'm working as a. Let me just say when I started my employment, November 2022, 2021, sorry, to present, and I'm a full stack developer. Let me just go to the last one. So I worked on a project called what's the name of this project again? Mm, My progress is not saving. So I work on a project called Pay Money also. Is it Pay Money? So let me just say Pay Money. Or let me just say I worked on a project called let me just say I worked on a project called Pay Money. I started this work in April of 2020 to when did it die? December, same 2020. Uh, what was I? Yeah, I was the back end developer. Obviously, I won't showcase this in my real resume or some other stuff. But yeah. So this is just like I'm just showing you a demo of all these things. Some of the stuff here, like Pay Money, is not really that. It was like a side project or so. I think it's not 2020. Um, my Pay Money. I think what did we call it again? Call it yeah, Team Pay Money. This was during a hackathon or so. Or you just write your internship here. Like I can write to Chemtech. This is where I did my internship, to Chemtech. Um, the year was 2018 also when I did my internship. But you can write to Chemtech, some other things here. So on that thing now, let's create our project. So I'm going to create a H2 and I'm going to say projects I worked. So my projects. So I'm just going to put open source projects I've worked on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put like it. I'm going to say database, and I'm going to say gallery view. Somebody is joining me. Person joining late. So I'm going to say gallery view. So yeah, so you can see every other things in my gallery. I'm just going to create like a new. I'm going to say open source. I'm just going to add all my open source projects here. So I don't know why. What is this thing here? Okay, that's the template I use. All right, so I'm just going to say first project I'm going to put here is maybe Pay Money. Let's say I'm trying to apply for something Web3 related or so, or maybe a fintech application. Let me say I'm applying for a fintech job. So I'm going to put this here. Um, I'm going to put the details about what I did here. You can also edit these tags wherever you want. I'm just going to take a screenshot of Pay Money and just paste it here. So I'm just going to take a screenshot. Um, let me just I have the picture already. Let me just copy and paste it. Don't have time to waste. So I'll just copy from here. Just copy take a screenshot here, return back to my portfolio, come here and paste it here. Then I'll just say some blah 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 about it. So you can have one thing about I like about Notion, it has AI. So you can tell AI to continue writing for you. So I'll just say continue writing. And AI will just continue writing. So Pay Money is a financial. Anyway, you can tell AI what to write about, and AI will write about it for you. You can just tweak it to what you want to do it. So I'm just going to talk about features of Pay Money. Let's say write. Ask AI to write features. Pay Money. Obviously, this is not what it is. I'm just going. You can give more context to it, but this is another thing. You can also have like AI to write about this to actually like give you this thing. Like, what you want to write this thing? This is Pay Money. Why can't I write here? What is going on? Is it my internet connection? Or is it my enemies? Okay, so infuse for me. Let me try again. Climb charm, pay money. Obviously, I'm going to put the image on in the front, on top here, so it features the image first. So I'm featuring this. Well, I can add it in the cover. Um, my internet is just very slow. That's why it's speeding like this. If my internet was much faster, every other stuff would be better. It should show like my image here. See, it's still saving till now. But let's say we have an app project here called let's say weather app. I worked on a weather app. Weather app. So this is a small, like if you built a small weather app or so, I'm just going to showcase it here. So let me just look for the weather app I built. Don't know the website's name, but I just know I built the weather app one time. So anyway, Sha, this is just how to do it. You can add different projects you worked on here. Any project you're proud of, you can just add them here and talk about them in detail. So this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to use professional platforms. For example, if you're a developer, use GitHub. If you're a writer, you can use platforms like Contently, or you can write on Substack. You can write on Substack and some other stuff. If you're a data guy, you can use platforms like Cargo and platforms like Hugging Face. Also, you can use things like what's the name, Collab, to actually showcase your work with different distance, and also on GitHub. You can also do it on GitHub also as a data scientist, because obviously you'll also be dealing with code. My internet today, Editor is trying to say that they're going to deal with me today. So obviously, let me just let them. But you just get the point here. I can add the image of my weather app here, add the website, I can say I'll just turn this into URL. It's not letting me do anything. Obviously it's internet dependent. You need to have internet for this thing to work. But obviously you can also do it on your phone. It has a mobile app where you can work on where you can work on this on your phone. There are some other things around this. I think this is just basically the basics of everything, Sha. Let me just not waste too much time here. I think fighting with my internet connection doesn't really help things. So yeah, so then we have a question. So questions, anyone? Nobody with questions. Well, do you guys really understand what was going on in class? And does anyone feel confident to be able to like set out to create a portfolio for themselves? So I just want to like mention some key things in a portfolio. Make sure you put your best projects out there. A friend of mine, his name is Ife. He's a senior developer, a senior designer at what's the name? At SharePoint. Is an international company. He said the most important things you showcase in your portfolio are the top three, like your top 5 projects or your top 3 projects that you worked on. You don't need to showcase all your work, like every single project you worked on. Top 3 relevant projects that you worked on that is relevant to the field you're applying to, or just relevant to, like that showcases your distance. So those top 3 projects, because let's say the person who is hiring you doesn't really have time to start going through every single project you worked on one by one. Doesn't really have time to start going through every single project you worked on one by one. Like especially on GitHub. I see people on GitHub, they just put like their GitHub, they just put their praise and they just pin anything to the top of their GitHub, maybe an incomplete project or a project that they've not really like an idea they have, but they've not really done anything on it. Don't do that. When you come on GitHub, put your best project forward. Like if I give an example of my GitHub, I put my best projects in on my profile page. Put your best project forward, then maybe at the bottom now put other projects you're not really proud of. What this makes is that when they come to your site, when you are looking for projects that you worked on, they can see those interesting projects you worked on, and they'll be more impressed with that. They'll consider you because they're looking for any opportunity to disqualify you. They have like imagine somebody that has up to let's say he has up to 30 or 100 people that he wants to he wants to like schedule for interview. He wants to eliminate people as fast as possible. If he sees your portfolio and he sees all these rubbish projects that you're doing, like any project that's really they're not really relevant on your portfolio, person can just discard you very fast because you're not really the area you're not really the kind of person he's looking for. So make sure the project you're putting there is relevant, very important project. Make sure they are complete. Make sure that also you put some you also add you don't just put the project out there and just expect them to understand what is going on. You also put some context, explain what the project is doing, explain like just give some context around the project, tools you use to build it, what the maybe you worked on it with the team and some other stuff. Give some context around it so you're able to understand it more. Um then one other stuff I will add is your social media. Make sure you use social media so much, especially if you're a learner, especially if you're just learning. Um, Especially if you're just learning. Yeah, put your work experience, like put your work certificate. I forgot to name that, but if you have a certificate, what I'm talking about a certificate is let me say you have a certificate in a training about a particular thing. Maybe you did like a training on UX design. There's this Coursera course, free course for UX designers on introduction to UX design. They give you a certificate there. Showcase that certificate on your portfolio. Show that because um, it's going to give portfolio your potential employees an idea that hey, you're certified in this skill. You're able to do something with this particular skill. Showcase that on your portfolio. But let's say you have a certificate in um maybe you just completed a Udemy course or something. Sometimes those side kits may not really have as much. There are some particular side kits like from that don't really have as much value to the interviewer. So sometimes when the best advice for side kits to showcase is side kits around technologies or particular skills. So let's say technology like AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Terraform, technology like Google Analytics, Figma, do you understand me? You're satisfied in all those kind of things. Um, for like it creates more interest. Like we even went ahead to even get satisfied in this kind of stuff in a particular technology. Like you got satisfied in using Tableau or Power BI. You have a certification using Power BI. Do you understand? I mean, Power BI that a lot of companies really want like data people that are really good with that software. So that's something you can actually showcase on your portfolio. Not that you did not that you did an introductory course to blockchain technology, like introduction to blockchain technology. You didn't actually build any projects. You didn't do anything. What the project just what the certificate is just for you to do is just to know what blockchain is all about. Just explains it. There's no you didn't learn any particular technology there. Then it's not really relevant to the company. They want to see like relevant work. And why certificates are good, projects are better because projects actually showcase your actual skills, showcase what you do. Because certificates they really tell like different stories, but projects actually showcase like okay, this guy knows his stuff. He doesn't really talk the talk. The guy actually shows the talk. So those are things. Those are very important things you need to include in your portfolio if you're making a very good portfolio. You want something to really stand out. You have to showcase you have to showcase those relevant skills in your portfolio, especially your certificates. It has to be there. As a beginner, I would say the projects you need to like recognize and put there are um projects that really taxed you. For example, I will not tell you to put a to-do application on your like a to-do app on your portfolio or a blog, a small blog or Pokemon, Pokemon, or a random generator, random this generator. Don't do that. Put an app, maybe an app that you actually built. For example, now let's say you built a weather app and it's down, you made it downloadable and you made it to be able to like users could use it. You can actually check metrics on it. You added analytics to it, you added some extra things to it to make it stand out. Show that maybe you built a website for a business. You build a website for a business and business is using it to like run their operations. Showcase that. Do you understand? I mean, you build a website for your mom's business, like your mom's maybe your mom sells, maybe she sells cake or some other stuff. You built an e-commerce website for her where people can actually like contact her, buy things directly from the site and showcase and do this stuff. Showcase that. Do you understand? I mean, don't showcase things like build a simple landing page or so. Um, where can I get better praise to do? You can actually Google Parade ideas. There's actually a link for Parade ideas, a GitHub link for Parade ideas that I'm not currently with, so I think I can share that. And while you can Google Parade ideas, you can also check out, for example, you can also check out icodethis.com.org. I think it's icodethis.org. It actually shows like different projects depending on their level of difficulty, and it shows you like guides on how to build them. You can also build applications based on like some projects. For example, you can build an expense tracker. Some very like look for example portfolio apps, portfolio projects for beginners. Search Google, search YouTube for portfolio projects for beginners. You're going to show you like some examples of portfolio projects. Keep portfolio projects. I think I mentioned it on my status the other time. I told you URL shortener. Those are like portfolio projects you can actually add to your website. This kind of projects are things that people can use. You understand me? Like if you use a URL shortener, you can actually like put that to people and people can start using it and start doing it. An expense tracker. These are things that people can use. An expense tracker that tracks people's expenses and some other things. These are things that people can use. An e-commerce site, a small e-commerce site where people can buy things and stuff like that. These are things that people can use. They are hard. There's some complications to doing it, but it's something that you can build. There's one that I would say is not that hard, but I don't see a lot of people doing. You know, this not gonna lie app, this NGL app. People can actually build something like that where people can ask somebody like anonymous questions. Do you understand? You can build something like that. Some other stuff. You can look at projects you can build. You can build a calculator. You can build a weather app. Things that people can use. Like if somebody can use this thing. Do you understand? It's things that people can use. So those are examples of small applications you can build. If you're learning Web3, like if you build a wallet or you build like an NFT application, showcase that. Like you build an NFT application, showcase that. Those are projects you can actually showcase and to people. So depending on like areas you're learning at, like for example, now me, when I was applying for my first job, what I showcased was I think I was applying for a job at what's the name? At at Zen. So what I showcased to them was was class doodle. I also told them I hosted it on Google Cloud and some other things, which gave me some attention. And that gave me one very hard project to build, which at my level I couldn't really complete. Mm. I ended up spending up to I ended up almost spending $300 in cloud fees and some other stuff. That's a story from that time, Sha. Because I was trying to prove myself when I went for cloud engineering job when I was supposed to go for junior engineer. It was me, Sha. It was my fault because I didn't really know where to actually start when I'm actually like looking for roles. But I've learned from my lesson, Sha. So with this, we come to the end of this class. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to share it on the WhatsApp group. I'm also going to share it on a newsletter that I'm going to like send to you guys. So I'm going to share this on the WhatsApp group. I'm also going to create an article on Substack, which I'm going to share. You know, I've not been sharing things on Substack very often. But I'm going to create an article on Substack. I will tell you guys to join our Substack. wish I can share this myself. You know what? I'm going to create on I'm going to join. I'm just going to share. So go to visit dominitiative.com, click on blog. It's going to lead to our Substack. So from our Substack, please subscribe to our Substack. And when we release like those articles, you're going to get them in real time once it comes out. So yeah, so this is all you need to know about creating a portfolio and how to actually like so and what they can actually do for you. Portfolios are things that they really set you apart, especially when somebody has seen like you actually know what you're doing and you can actually build this period yourself. That actually sets you apart from other people. So this is something that is very important that people need to know.